Hi friends and fellow Earth Angels, it's Gladys, and welcome back to one of my readings. It has been a hot minute since the last time I've been able to come on and connect, and I have really missed doing these readings. I know some of you have expressed to me that you really enjoyed the readings, and one of the things that I've been experiencing through this time gap of being away is that predominantly my life works in cycles. I'm not necessarily that linear A to B, one step leads to another kind of person. And I know this is kind of the way Earth Angels have been experiencing their life, in more of a flow and cycles and rhythms. I've been in a cycle of change and adjustment, and I am currently in a new temporary office. I've had to make some adjustments to my schedule. I am now back open where my online video chat sessions, there is much more availability now where I'm at. It is not the place that I am permanently staying. I will be making an adjustment to another office that will be available this summer. And, you know, with the pandemic and having to make adjustments with my schedule and time, I have been learning to navigate healthy ways to share. I mean, obviously being open and all services being available now, I have been called back more to the office, and learning how to navigate that time period has been quite interesting, as well as maintaining my own personal life. So I just really felt guided to come back on in this time period. Spring is my favorite season. I mean, I love summer, but looking around and seeing the flowers bloom here and the daffodils and tulips coming up. Of course, this is Easter weekend, a time of rebirth and resurrection and renew and learning a new way. You know, when we see babies born and things coming out into the spring, we see a lot of newness. And I just feel like I've been in that cycle of navigating a new way of being, accepting and being open to these cycles of my life and the time periods that have been calling my attention. So I can't say that I will be able to be back officially to weekly card readings, but I did want to share this week. So I've prepared a reading to offer messages of support for you, protection, a message of love, a message of nurturing through different spiritual cards. So I will start with what I have here is the Archangel Oracle card deck. I'll be starting with a message of support for you. And then I will go into a message for protection through the Archangel Michael. And then a message of nurturing with the Mother Mary Oracle cards. And then messages of unconditional love to support you through the loving words from Jesus, and an overall loving message from the Love and Light Oracle card decks. So I realize that my lighting isn't the greatest right now. My setup isn't the greatest that you're used to. I kind of am doing this spontaneously. I had a gap this morning in my time schedule, so I just felt like I wanted to do this. So please forgive the, like I said, the lighting and any fumbling that I'm doing, because this is the first one I've done in this setup in a while. All right, let's get started here. So let me start by opening space as usual. Let me call on and invite in the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light who would like to assist with this card reading for you today. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, so connecting my heart to the heart of the archangels. What is the most important message of support that you have for the Earth Angels at this time? again, we've got a couple weeks, I believe, before planets start going retrograde again. So this is a really wonderful time of clarity. This is a great time to make any adjustments, to start any things that you've been wanting to start, and to really embrace the present moment, enjoying this energy that we're in. I know there's a lot going on, and I know there's a lot of you who have family members and friends who are really going through it. You know, there's been a lot of highs and lows. So I want to offer you some light and peace and love and support as you support those that you love. All right, archangels, what is the most important message? Ooh, all right, so we're gonna pull two. Let's see. And let's begin. So the angels of support, we have crystal clear intentions, of course. Just what we were talking about. So Archangel Michael, the angel of protection, he is coming in loud and clear. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. So it's interesting, as I just mentioned, that we're in a time period of clarity before planets start retrograding again. I think by the end of the year, we'll have 6 or 7 at one time retrograding. And again, it's a beautiful time to face anything that we've been putting off, making adjustments. You know, earth angels, we have a tendency to like comfort and peace, quiet, right? And this is an extraordinary time of spiritual growth on this planet, especially with 2023 being a 7 universal year. So at the beginning of the year, I did a Zoom session. It was a live session where I talked about the energies of 2023. I have decided to put it out. I have not posted it yet. I'm not sure where I'm going to post it yet. One of the things I've been thinking about is how to reach people in a space where you want to receive these messages and you're learning from them, but more in a contained space with people who want to grow. So there's a part of me that wants to create an email list, a sign-up list, where you'll get more frequent emails from me. Maybe you'll get like an email of when I post videos, but they'll come from like private links. There's something about this part of me that wants to contain the information I'm sharing and make it accessible for people who are open and ready to learn, and who are evolving and growing. And you know, there's shadows and lights to being, you know, putting your information out there publicly. You know, I don't want to contribute to more information pollution that's out there. So I have really just been sitting with how I feel the most connected and what I resonate with in sharing information. So I do have that recording available, and I might just put it out through my newsletter. And if you're on my newsletter, my email list, you know that I don't put out emails very often. But all that to say, it shares information about what this year is about. And so if you are interested in, you know, staying connected, please, you know, you can go on my website at gladysellen.com and you can sign up for my newsletter. You'll get like, you know, 10 ways that you can ask the angels for assistance, and that will put you on my email list. And then from there, I might create a sub email list for people who would like, you know, links, and if I want to do live sessions, if you want to hear about those things. And when those are available, I might create a separate email list for that, which ultimately would be more of a private group. So please let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. I'm really trying to navigate. I really don't want to contribute to more inundation of information that's out there. And I know me personally, I'm very, you know, selective with what I'm reading, what I'm connected to, and I find there's a peace of mind in that. So if you'd like to be more streamlined in the work that I'm doing, you can just let me know, or you can give this a thumbs up or private message me, because really I'm just navigating what would be most beneficial for myself and others. Anyway, getting back to crystal clear intentions. So we have these couple weeks where all the planets are still direct, and there's a sense of clarity. There's been a sense of clarity of what we want to do. And then what I've been noticing is the challenge with motivation, the challenge with moving forward. So, we talked about this in past readings about how challenging it can be when you're doing something to get something, right? When you're manifesting and doing these things to get an outcome that you want, it might not always be in alignment with your highest will. It might not always be in alignment with what it is that you need and you're learning right now in this moment. So with crystal clear intentions, I feel like Michael is asking you to have clarity about how you want to feel. So if you're seeking financial abundance, right? Well, what does that offer you? It offers you a peace of mind. It offers you stability, security, right? It offers you a level of comfort and peace. And so if you can radiate that energy out, kind of go a little deeper on how you want to feel. Again, if it's partnership or a romantic relationship, well, what does that offer you? It might offer you companionship. It might offer you adventure and play. Maybe it'll offer you laughter or connection, right? So, and remember, when you open to that energy, you're also open to the multifaceted ways that energy can come into your life. We kind of pigeonhole things when we're manifesting in a linear, almost kind of like a fine point. Like, I need to do this in order to get this specific thing. But if you can get more clarity and have crystal clear intentions about how you want to feel and what your why is, that energy expands out and it can come into your life multifaceted, because this might not be the time period for partnership. There might be some more internal growth and learning that you're experiencing right now, or maybe the lack that you're experiencing is helping you have more clarity about your own gifts and putting yourself out there in a way where you can shine and you can expand and you can really live a purposeful life. Money for me has always been a navigator. It's always been an indicator of inflow or out of flow, if I'm aligned or if I'm falling off course. And so I've kind of embraced that energy and learned how to work with it. So I feel like this is where Michael's showing up with things that have gotten confusing and you don't know what you want, or people are saying manifest. Go deeper and saying, well, what would be the why? What would be the outcome of how I would feel in these experiences? If it's a new job, maybe it's purpose, maybe it's contributing to being of service to others, right? How do you want to feel? And sometimes that can be challenging when things are raw around us, right? So you can even ask Michael, show me what it is, show me a way. And you might see it in the outside world, or you might have these experiences of feeling good in your life. And then, of course, as you know, as I always say, expanding that energy out, more of this or something even better. We are in the full moon, energy of the full moon in Libra, right? So Libra starts the full moon cycle. Aries, we just had the Aries new moon that started a brand new 12-month lunar cycle. And so Libra is really great time. Libra is about fairness and justice. It's about partnership and love. So this is a time to surrender. Maybe surrender specific people, places, things, and ideas, right? And kind of open to other ways for these experiences to come into your life. And the other message an angel support is Gabriel, creative writing. So Archangel Gabriel says, make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen an article or book. Interesting. So I love these colors. They're already going together. So expression, putting it out there, writing things down. Sometimes writing down the discord or the discomfort or the frustrations is a way to be honest with God and the divine. Putting it out there. If you want to burn it, if you don't want anyone to read it, this could be a really great way to express how you're feeling, because sometimes we get clogged, or we get that frustration where we're fuming on the inside, but calm and cool on the outside. Sometimes with Earth Angels, we're inspired with so many different ideas, or there's so much going on, and we get these, boosts of energy, and then we're like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. So, and sometimes that can kind of create confusion. I call it like spiritual constipation. Like we want to get going, we're just not able to. So Gabriel is asking you to invite him into your life, to inspire you, to help you to get that out of, and how to communicate with the divine, how to express yourself. And again, with the Libra full moon, this is a really good time for release and surrender, and also forgiveness of frustrations, whether it be with God, whether it be with family members, whether it be with things that are not going well. Again, we can get frustrated with our own divinity, our own soul sometimes, right? And so I feel like Gabriel is saying this would be a really good time to maybe write that stuff down, or write down how you want to feel, just so you can kind of go back to it and remember, especially if you're working with the feminine energy. So the feminine energy is multifaceted. I've said this often before. It's like a kaleidoscope, right? If you remember those kaleidoscopes, it's like a little tube that you look in, and when you turn it, the colors change, and you turn it and the colors change. Feminine energy can be very much like that. I know there's a lot of Earth Angels out there who've kind of gotten to the space of, I'm good. I feel like there's a sense of peace. There's no, like, let's say, deep desires. I've heard often, I'm not sure what I want. I'm not sure. I feel like I have these, physical things which are wonderful. And I think this is where it's now going deeper. How can we serve? How can we learn? How can we be inspired by wisdom to share more, right? And so a lot of people now are kind of clearing out and making adjustments. So Earth Angels might feel like you've been in this limbo space. And so this is a great time for anything residual, getting more clarity, making adjustments with anything that might hold you back. So when the doors of opportunity do open, you have crystal clear intentions and a direction, and in your why of what it is that you're moving towards. For me, it's always adventure, play, laughter, fun, and freedom. That's the space that, I check in. Is this contributing to the quality of life that I'm creating for myself? And I have found that great peace within myself as an individual. And so often when you have that peace within, that person who needs nothing has everything. And so now I'm still working with the energy of creating, right? But it's creating a purposeful life, creating a way of serving. So I don't know necessarily what it is that I want now going forward, because I haven't in my mind, in my physical, experienced it. So I sit with the Holy Spirit, I sit with the divine and saying, show me what I'm not seeing, show me the way forward. And then I'm inspired. I had a beautiful client bring me flowers the other day, and I get really nice emails from people that I helped, and they're showing me what it is that I do want, because of that magnetic energy, because of that divine energy, where I'm saying show me, and opens up space for it to come into my life. And I'm like, that's what I love. That is what feels good. That the reminder that I'm living a purposeful life, that I'm serving in a way that feels that allows people to feel connected and loved and seen and purposeful. I didn't know that, right? So you'll be amazed at the way you open up and share space. And sometimes, like I said, being able to communicate with the divine. Creative writing is more of a way to express yourself, but it can be in meditation, it can be in stillness, and saying, show me how I may best serve, right, going forward, instead of using that mind, well, what is it that I want? Because you may not know that, because you've never experienced where you're going yet, right? So it feels limited because you've created this beautiful physical 3D foundation for yourself. Now it's like you're wanting to advance and go deeper into the emotional, the mental, the spiritual healing. So sometimes we may not know these things. So surrendering the thoughts of the mind or the need to know in this time period. So that's your message of support. Message of protection. All right, Michael, what message of protection do you have for the Earth Angels? during this time period. Whoa. All right, let's see. That's way too many, Michael. I know you're excited, but let's tone it down. It's the most important message of protection. The earth angels to hear, see, feel, and know. Make a commitment. Yes. So the prayer. Archangel Michael, as the angel of courage and confidence, I call upon you to lend me your strength. Allow me to commit to myself, my life, and my divine purpose. Please clearly guide me so I can fully open my heart to every experience. Oh gosh, this is exactly what we were talking about. Look at these colors, right? We're talking about like third eye colors. We're talking about intuition. Blue is very comforting. It's a very warm energy. And again, this is just what I was mentioning earlier. See how he is kneeling down and he's looking up with his hands open. So again, many of us have kind of moved into a space where we have created, or at least have an awareness of what it is that we need, the work that needs to be done. Earth angels have done a lot of healing in this time period. So it feels like this gap of now what, right? And so sometimes it's making it a commitment to show up to something. Personally, I have tried to make a commitment to do my daily practices, specifically magnified healing. It's a healing modality and technique that I use, or I want to commit to doing every single day. For the most part, I'm like 95% there. And that's part of learning discipline, right? Discipline and routine and structure with the divine. A lot of spiritual practices and techniques talk about committing to yourself, committing to your practices. But again, it can feel almost like a should, or it can almost feel like a chore. So I ask the divine to remind me to show up to those things that I know that will spiritually nourish me. I ask them to remind me, and sometimes that comes in a way of discomfort or feeling out of sorts or irritable and annoyed. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got to go cleanse. I got to go do my practice. And so, like I said, this journey for me, this cycle that I'm in, is navigating my own care of self while I'm of service to others, my own boundaries, right? My own way to nourish myself, things, and allowing the feels, the good feels in the joy, the laughter, the play. I can certainly be a person of like all work and all, I want to say business, but not like in a business sense, but like what needs to get done and what needs to be straightened, what needs to be organized, who needs what. And sometimes it takes me out of myself. So my regular practices, daily practices, are enriching and nourishing. So some of you, especially with this being a 7 universal year, need those times of stillness and nothingness and presence with God and presence with divine love to remember, right? That ego part of us in that the darkness that's within us is a beautiful thing when we can learn from it, because it can definitely corrupt and corrode the system. It can really steal joy sometimes. So I feel like Michael is saying, again, because this is protection, right? This is your message of protection, is to make a commitment to those things that spiritually nourish you. And remember, it's the pull, it's the heart pull to it. It's not the mind that says you have to or you should because of punishment. It's that inspirational pull or that call to it because it's nourishing, because it brings you peace, allows you to connect and align. And you'll know spirit and the divine is talking to you because you'll see the numbers, you'll see the signs, you'll see your birthday numbers, you'll see your loved ones' messages or their initials on a license plate, you'll see the angel numbers of 4s, you'll see God's numbers of 0s. These are all ways that the divine reminds us, right? I found this book. I was traveling. I've been traveling a lot. So in February, I was back in Sedona, and I found this book of daily meditations with the Holy Spirit. And it is this beautiful, tiny book that I saw it in a gift shop. And I wasn't going to go there. I wasn't going to buy anything, but I couldn't walk away from. There's a couple things that I got that I couldn't walk away from. But this book of daily meditations with the Holy Spirit, and it literally takes a minute to read it. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to commit to and show up to. And when I don't, I learn from that as well. So there's no shame if I missed a day, or there's no shame. I'm really learning how to keep this openness and really working that muscle to show up to those things, which enhances that love of self, right? That nourishment of self that we need so much, and connecting with my own divinity, my own soul, my own spiritual journey, because I do have this desire to be outwardly and share on my soul mission, work and service to others. And so a lot of us right now are learning to find balance and boundaries in that space. So I've been really finding this deep connection with the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is the wisdom. It opens up doors of opportunities. There's power in it, right? So if you're needing motivation, I would encourage you to call on the Holy Spirit and the Archangel Michael, kind of like that, to slingshot you forward and remind you. And sometimes that comes with discord and discomfort, but if you can see it in a way of thank you for that reminder, you'll get back into flow and you'll feel more aligned once again. Okay, so your message of nourishment. Message of nourishment from Mother Mary. Mother Mary, what is the most important message of nourishment for the Earth Angels? Oh, of course I pulled this card, Mama and Child. How beautiful. I love those colors. Rose, pink, and teal. That's just lovely in of itself. Okay, so the message of nourishment. Our Lady of Growth Assured. It says, oh gosh, I miss this so much. So wonderful. To manifest the dreams and desires of the heart, we need patience and trust in divine timing. Understand that if our creation is birthed too soon or too late, there may be otherwise unnecessary difficulties. There is a natural timing to soul manifestation that we can trust, even if we can only grasp its goodness, grace, and genius in retrospect. Know that Mother Mary is safeguarding your progress. So again, we talk about manifesting and creating. She's coming in saying that these spiritual routines, these spiritual things that you're doing to ground yourself, finding balance in play. Many of you have been working on your own inner healing, your mental health, your emotional health, even your spiritual health. We're going in, right? We're going in, and as that energy expands, that light expands within you, anything that's not a vibrational match needs to come up and out. So if you are putting intentions towards, and you have crystal clear intentions and you've been writing things down, Mother Mary is reminding us that there's a divine order. Remember, if you are to be in service, if you're to share the knowledge and wisdom that you've learned through experiences, you have to remember the world and your future clients need to be ready to receive it. And this is kind of the hang up right now. This is kind of the space that we're in. Earth angels are really helping and supporting other earth angels, but the world at large is still in that squeeze, that, with the health challenges that are coming up for people, the diagnoses that are coming out and being revealed. I've heard about, people falling and, hip surgeries or knee surgeries. I've been hearing about, diagnoses of things that are being revealed. I've been hearing about people struggling with addictions. And, remember, the world is going through the 3D world. They're going through or the unconscious or the sleepers, right? You know, and we were all there at some point. So I use that word as just to be able to identify. It doesn't mean good or bad, because I certainly go back to that place here and there. At least I can recognize it and make that shift and kind of come out to prayer. And I have my spiritual foundations and the trust that I've built. And so you have to remember there's a world at large out there who are going through these things. So they're called back within. They're called back to their own faith, their own divinity, right? Their own soul work. So please know that if you know you've been putting yourself out there and you know things have been slow, or you're not really sure what direction, it's been foggy, it's been a little dark, you know, you're kind of feeling in limbo, you're not feeling motivated, those could all be part of the holdback, that you know you may be ready, but the people that you're supposed to share with, or that the people that you're aligned with, may not be. So sometimes having the chance to laugh and play and you know, do fun things, right? We can tend to be really like workers, right? We can tend to be like, where can I serve? And sometimes that creates these connections or these soul ties with people that, you know, are needing you to fix and save and change and make better. And that becomes exhausting in of itself. So a lot of people are making adjustments with those types of relationships and those dynamics in their lives. So again, this could be multifaceted. Some of you could still be in shedding and evolving and learning through those relationships. Some of you might be in a place of identity. Who am I? How may I serve? What is the work? You know, we're all evolving and changing. For me, I feel a call for a deeper sense of sharing the wisdom that I have and sharing what I've learned, especially with earth angels who are advancing, because there's a lot of spiritual knowledge and wisdom out there that is just becoming outdated. It's just not serving in this different frequency and the different energies that we're in. So it's, you know, people are really struggling with their own intuition, or not struggling with, but curious and wanting to learn, but also too, how do I protect myself? How do I advance? How do I trust, right? So, you know, myself, I keep asking God, how may I serve? How may I put myself out there in a way that's contained, right? In a way that doesn't contribute to more of the information, what I call information pollution out there, right? Everybody sharing everything, and it can just be very overwhelming for earth angels. And so, you know, it's hard to know what is truth and what feels good. It's very confusing. So I've known a lot of earth angels have kind of swung back to that tendency to isolate, or that tendency to kind of lean back and just feel overwhelmed. So I keep asking God to show me how I can share without contributing to more of that. So again, if this is helpful, if this is supporting you, please, you know, let me know. If you want to give a thumbs up or you want to write something in the comments, it really honestly just helps encourage me and where I can offer support and how. And again, as I know, everything is divinely guided, right? Everything is in divine order. So let's see here. What's next? Okay. So message of love. So Jesus as prophet, Jesus as brother, Jesus as wise one, Jesus as son, Jesus as a beautiful, healthy, masculine energy, teacher, master, healer. This is the frequency I'm working with the energy of Jesus. Jesus, what is the most important message of love that you have for your earth angels right now in this moment? Many of them are in limbo. Many of them are continuing on their healing journey. Many of them maybe feeling foggy and not sure the way forward and where they fit and how they can contribute. What message of support do you have for them? What message of love do you have for them? I think there's a few here. All right, so there's 3. We have He that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. So, as Jesus as teacher, let's see if I can put this in here. Here we go. Jesus as teacher. One of the things I've said often in my classes when I'm teaching is that my intention is to share the knowledge and wisdom that I've learned. That I have learned from my teachers, from the masters that I work with. And then I take that information and I share it based on what I've learned. And it cuts out a learning curve. I can say, hey, this is what I've learned, start here. And then I expect, I hope, I pray that those students then surpass what I'm learning or how I've learned it, because it's taken me time, right? I've been in this practice. I've had my healing practice for 15 years now, and I've learned a lot. And so I take that information and I share it immediately with students. I share it immediately with clients so that they can be slingshotted forward to surpass. And I feel like this is part of that message, is that you're in a space of learning and you may be called to teach. And working with Jesus in a message of love, sometimes we struggle with our own insecurities and, is this good enough? And, those are the wounds of earth angels, being good enough, being worthy, right? Impatience, right? Knowing there's a divine order to things. And I feel like this is part of Jesus's message and saying it all comes from the Father. Take and share. And again, it says, and greater works than these shall he do, meaning going beyond and surpassing that. And many people are really tapping into the energy of Mary Magdalene and Mary Magdalene, Teresa of Avila, Perpetua, Thecla, Joan of Arc. There were a lot of these female energies throughout history who really used their gifts of intuition and working in the heart mind. And so Jesus laid a foundation with Mary Magdalene, and that energy has radiated out through many different prophetesses, right? Many different spiritual, female, feminine energy people throughout eons of time. And now this is a compilation of energy coming in. So we really have to go within, right? Into the wisdom, the heart mind, in order to share. Because the old principles and old ways of doing things that are based on thought and the mind aren't necessarily contributing to the quality of life that people are creating for themselves. It's not necessarily contributing to the expansion and growth and the possibilities that are yet to be. So a lot of where you're going, a lot of what you're sharing may not even exist yet. And so this time period, this 9-year cycle that Mother Earth is in, is about learning about our own selves, our own intuition, our own internal guidance, right? And also to trusting of spiritual leaders in this world, or not trusting. There's a lot of things that are being exposed, right? There's a lot of things that are coming out, secrets being mysteries, secrets being revealed, people like being exposed, right, in the healthcare system, the education system, the political system, the spiritual communities, right? We're seeing the false prophets, and we're seeing the liars and cheaters, and the dysfunction. It's like all coming out because you earth angels have been doing the work. You're doing your own inner work, as above so below, as within so without. So remember, you're on this soul journey. Soul is in singular, and then soul is in higher. So Jesus is basically saying, like, my teachings are there. Take those teachings and learn from them and go forward, go beyond, where I was. And again, how beautiful in this space and time of spring and, this expansion that we're in. All right, Jesus, what other messages? It says, come unto me, all you that labor and all, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So again, we're moving into this space of being able to learn and share, but the challenges. Remember I was saying with the creative writing, being able to write our frustrations down, our annoyances, and this is what you might be seeing in the world, right? You might be seeing these injustices, you might be seeing these difficulties, and those are hard things to see, people suffering, people in pain, although we have an awareness that it's part of their learning, it's part of their growth, and we can certainly love them. And it can be hard to watch, and we may not want to be around it, and we might be setting boundaries saying thanks but no thanks, and that can be challenging. Our hearts can literally hurt having to set boundaries with, you know, people we know, with people we know. They have to learn, right? They have to go through those difficulties and those challenges, and sometimes we have to walk away from very unhealthy situations, right? So I feel like if you're in that space, this is where Jesus is saying, come to me and share, write it, put it out there, and let him love you. Let Jesus love you. Let him in. Again, Jesus as teacher, Jesus as brother, Jesus as friend, Jesus as confidant and support. And then his other message is, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. So perfect. Remember, Holy Spirit, right? We talked about that earlier, looking up to the light, right? Even Jesus looked to the heavens, looked to his Father for support, right? So this goes right back to what we were talking about with creating and manifesting earlier. You're moving into a space that you've outgrown the desires for worldly things. And now there's a desire for spiritual nourishment, wisdom, information, new techniques, right? To offer and be of service in the world. So again, when you put that out there, show me Jesus, show me Michael, show me what the next steps are. And really you're committing to spiritual practices, silence, stillness, rest. I've been talking about these words for a couple years now. Silence and stillness and rest and nothingness. The benefits of it and what you gain from it can only be learned from experience. And even the resistance to it is something. Even the challenge to get yourself to that space, not as punishment, but as the ego mind or that distraction that wants to keep you away from it, right? So this is where we're really working the spiritual muscles. So Jesus is coming in. I feel like he's covered all facets, right? I think, he's in a space, he's like, I got you. I know what's going on. Here's the support. So, all right. And then final message, overall message of unconditional love from God. God, what is the most important message for the earth angels to hear, see, feel, and know? Let's see here. What's the most important message you want the earth angels to hear, see, feel, and know? Blessings of innocence and purity. God bless those whose hearts are pure, for they will see God. Oh my God, how beautiful. So I feel like God here is acknowledging those of you who continue to show up in honesty, in integrity, those who continue to do right by the souls of others, even though it's hard or challenging, those who continue to move forward in trust and in love with the heart of the Father. And I feel like this is a reminder here that those who are pure will see God. And I feel like, and I love this, the ring light is surrounding this person right here. How beautiful, with the angel looking down. And I feel like this is an example of how God sees us. This is how God sees earth angels, right? The angel here is looking down, and you have your halo, you have your radiance, and this is what you're working towards. This is like your halo of protection, but it is also how God sees you and knows where to send those that you can comfort and support and teach and inspire. So again, going forward, if you can keep your arms, your hands, your arms, your hearts open and looking upward, right? You'll naturally be a magnet to be able to be of service. And remember, the people that are coming into your life, they're your teachers too, right? They're showing you where the need is. They're showing you how to support people. I've seen many different kind of caregivers and service providers. You know, my biggest clientele are teachers, nurses, social workers, therapists, right? People who are in service to humanity, and they're all working their own spiritual journey so that they can assist others at that capacity. Remember, we're kind of moving into uncharted territories. We can't keep recycling the same information out there over and over again, right? It's just, I mean, for a certain demographic, it's a gateway, it's an opening, but earth angels have really expanded beyond. And I feel like God is saying those that have been, you know, following the course in integrity and honesty and purity and love, who genuinely want to see humanity grow and evolve, and also enjoy what the school of planet Earth has to offer. It can be a lot of fun. It can be really playful. I love to indulge in things that bring me joy and experience, and I love playfulness. I love adventure. I love trying new things, right? So, and in order to have that, I've needed a different kind of support, right? Different kinds of energies. And that's why I say in the beginning of this reading that, you know, my life doesn't necessarily follow a step-by-step process. It's cycles, and I've got to kind of go in the space that I'm in. And winter was a kind of time for me to go within and, you know, check in and do some healing work on myself. And I recognized some things that were going on inside of me that I didn't feel like were very healthy. So I navigated a new pathway to receive support in different ways. And so it's kind of pulled me away from other things that I like to do. So just know that, you know, if you can't, you no longer want to do it all at the capacity that you've been doing. If you no longer want to be available at the capacity that you've been available, it's okay. And sometimes things come to an abrupt end. And we've got to follow the course of soul mission, spiritual journey. Soul mission, right? Work in service to others, spiritual journey work we're doing in alignment with ourselves. And so when we can learn this new way of moving forward in the cycles and rhythms that we're at, life becomes so much more peaceful, rather than trying to manage everything and hold true to things that aren't necessarily calling our heart, or that we aren't available at the capacity anymore. So obviously, you know, as you know, I channel these on the fly, and obviously these cards are coming out and seeing them for the first time. So I encourage you to pause the recording here now that the cards are open. Hopefully you can read them all and really kind of digest them for yourself, right? Being able to sit for a moment and read them over and see how these messages touch specifically and get to speak to you. There might be one specific card or one specific message that you really needed to hear. So in this time of resurrection, in this time of miracles and rebirth and growth, and again, it's just not Christianity. There's so many other spiritual philosophies and spiritual holidays and spiritual nourishment that's going on right now. It's a very sacred, special time. So I just encourage you to really enjoy it. Again, I love seeing the trees bloom and the animals come out and the babies being born. And I just love this time of year of rebirth and, you know, pretty flowers and buds on trees. And I've been taking lots of walks to get out. And again, I have been in the office much more now. I have been of service. You know, I very much enjoy enjoying the one-on-ones with clients. I really, really missed it. So if I can be of support, if you were working with me and I didn't necessarily have the available for video or phone sessions that worked for you, please know that my calendar is open for many different appointment slots now for in-office and video chat sessions. If you feel like you need a tune-up, or you feel like you need to just check in, or you've got some questions, divine guidance is there. Life purpose sessions are there. There's a combo session if you just want more time. That's a 90-minute session. And then, of course, if you're feeling sluggish, if you're feeling tired, I now, again, I'm still offering energy work sessions. IET sessions, integrated energy therapy sessions, have been really busy. This is the time of year to do it, and kind of clears out anything that's hanging or looming in the cellular memory of the body. So again, if you're feeling that spiritual constipation, or you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling you've gone through this deep healing or change, IET is a great experience, a great modality to kind of flush out your system, kind of slingshot you forward. It's not necessarily a relaxing session. It is interactive. You are laying on a table, but we are kind of going into experiences. We're going into energies of people who are on you, or experiences that were less than ideal that come up to surface and are released from the cellular memory of your body, or physical, that emotional aura of your body, the cellular memory, those things that your body has held onto for protection. So if you're feeling like you want to release that, IET is good for that. Magnified healing is a wonderful spiritual healing modality. It's like an attunement if you're feeling you want that adjustment, and these are only in-office sessions. Or obviously there's Reiki. Reiki is really great if you're a service provider and you're sharing lots of energy. Reiki is a wonderful way. That is not an interactive session. You are on the table. It is very peaceful and relaxing. And the new office that I am in is much more quiet. I'm downstairs in the same building, and it's much more quiet now down here. It's much more peaceful and relaxed. So if you're feeling you need to recharge, or you need to be replenished, and you don't want to talk, and you don't want to be bothered, but you would love to receive with minimal interruption, Reiki is a beautiful session for that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring about me to reach out and check in. And even if you haven't, know that I just feel those of you who've been thinking about me, that obviously I'm not checking in with your energy, but I feel the love. I feel the encouragement. I feel the pull to get back and putting myself out there. I feel the pull to be inspired to share. So just know that the support and the check-ins and, visiting my YouTube channel and listening to videos over again, I feel it. And I thank you for that. I thank you for allowing me in your space to share, to contribute in some way. It gives me purpose. So I appreciate your open heart and open minds and your openness to receive. So let me close space, thanking all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started today continue for as long as it needs to be done, in mind, body, spirit, and emotions in all ways. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.